Hello, friends. Welcome to Tori Talks TV. And welcome to our review of Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode 10, the season finale. Oh boy, this is going to be exciting. So this episode is called Valar Morghulis. I hope I did that justice. It's a big deal. All right, so in this episode, at this point, Marjorie Tyrell, who's such a suck-up, first of all, but she's pretty. So basically,
so now she's at King's Landing.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where there's more of Joffrey sitting on that Iron Throne, and like the way he sits though, that slouch, like it's such a great like direction, whoever gave him the direction to sit that way, but it just makes him look like such a douchebag.
Right, because he is.
He is.
Yeah.
And it's like perfectly staged.
Yeah,
staged.
Exactly.
So he meets her and he's like, you know, like drawn to her, but he's like betrothed to Sansa.
Right.
But Cersei pretty much says like, don't worry about it. You go ahead and like follow your heart.
Yeah, your heart. If he even has one at this point. But do you see when they cut to Sansa? She's like smiling and like, I did it. I escaped him.
Well,
you know
she thinks that she's gonna get to run.
Yeah.
But of course we know, and she's reminded that like Joffrey's not just gonna let her run. He's gonna do bad things to her.
And who reminds her?
The Hound.
Oh, I thought it was Littlefinger.
Oh, was it Littlefinger? Oh, it was Littlefinger. I'm sorry. You're right.
No,
yes.
But yeah, Littlefinger, who's in love with her mom.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, don't be celebrating yet, okay? Like, this is Joffrey we're talking about. He's insane.
Yes.
So there's that, and then we see Brienne and Jaime on their way to King's Landing, which is kind of a funny partnership. And then they like come across like these like three hanging. Like people.
Women, I think they're like...
They are women.
They're like prostitutes, but from the Stark side.
Yeah.
And they're Lannister women, but the Stark soldiers have killed them.
Exactly.
And so Brienne wants to like cut them down.
Yeah.
And they have this whole exchange about, getting them and burying them. And Jaime says they should just leave, and she doesn't. And then they come back.
Yeah.
And she kills them.
Yeah, she does. It's a big deal because they were like, she's like, how did those women die? And she's like, was it fast? He's like, well, two of them, it was fast. So she kills two of them, and the guy that says that, she gives him a slow death. Yeah. Rightfully deserved.
She's a badass.
She really is. She's one of my favorite characters so far.
For sure.
Yeah. So then let's go back to Robb and Catelyn. So they talk about love that's not built, that's built, not found.
Right. So she talks about when she and Ned got together and how that love, they had to build it. And so I think it's funny when Robb's like, so you think I'm going to have that with the Frey girl? And she's like, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyways, he's like, yeah, no. So he winds up marrying Talisa in this episode.
Right, but she's Catelyn, his mom is trying to like be like, hey, dude, be cool, like do the right thing. So, which actually leads us to one of my favorite quotes of the season. So she says, treat your oaths recklessly and your people will do the same. So she's like, okay, like fine, like you're in love with this nurse and that's fine, but you were promised to marry one of Walder Frey's daughters, so that's your warning.
He didn't listen to her.
No, he's in love. Yeah. A boy in love. How cute and sad at the same time. So then let's talk about this super creepy couple, Stannis and Melisandre. So I feel like at this point Stannis is kind of feeling like a little bit guilty.
He's kind of mad at Melisandre, like you made me
kill
my
my
brother. Yeah, and look, I lost.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, no. I see it in the fire.
Yeah. What do they see in the fire?
I don't know. They would show us.
They didn't.
No.
Is that a cliffhanger?
Oh, maybe. Good job, guys.
I guess.
Well
I was
done.
like, what? But he's buying it. He's like,
he's like, oh, I do see it. I'm like, see what? You freak? You weirdo? Yeah. So anyway. So then at this point, Winterfell is surrounded.
Master Luwin advises Theon to like run to the wall.
Yeah,
he's like, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one of my most like touching kind of moments of this is when Master Luwin tells Theon, "You're not the man you're pretending to be, not yet." Oh, because Theon's like putting up this front this whole time, like I'm a tough guy, and then Theon says to him, "You might be right, but I've gone too far to pretend to be anything else."
Oh.
So he's kind of like, you know what? I've already done these horrible things. I kind of have to play them out to the end. And now I feel like Theon's not even in control of his own actions.
Oh, that's true.
Because who wants him at this point? No one. His family doesn't want him. The Starks obviously don't want him.
No, of course not.
So I thought that was a great moment.
Yeah, no, that was a really big moment. And then, oh my gosh, we can't forget to talk about Arya.
Well, but really quick, and then the men turn on him and they like stab Master Lewin with the spear.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, that was so sad. He didn't deserve that. No. Anyway. But yeah, so again, our girl Arya is over there and she's like really wanting to learn from Jaqen Hagar. Jaqen? Can't say
Who's helped her escape.
Yes.
So remember, he promised her 3 lives in exchange for the 3 lives that she saved.
Yes.
And instead of giving a third name, she says that she just wants to be freed along with Gendry and their other friend.
Yes.
From Harrenhal. And
right.
so he makes that happen.
Right.
Yes.
And then he like gives her this like coin?
A coin?
Medallion? Yeah. And he tells her to go to Bravos. And then you say the title of this episode, Valar Morghulis. And then he changes his face.
Man of many faces.
What the heck? And then you're like, wait, what? Yeah. Who are you? What are you doing?
So if she wants to learn, she has to go to Bravos and give somebody the coin and say Valar Morghulis.
If you want to learn from me, if you want to, yeah.
And he turns into somebody else.
But it's like kind of like, well, I don't know. It's just like not where I thought Arya would be like, would end up. But I mean, who knows what she's going to do. But I was like, this is an interesting storyline with Arya.
Where's this going?
I didn't see, didn't see that coming. Anyway, so basically at this point, like, you know, Winterfell is burned. Lewin tells Bran and Rickon to go north to Jon.
Yes.
And he tells Osha to protect them. Osha, the unsung hero of all of this. Yeah, she didn't get enough credit.
And then she helps put Master Lewin out of his misery. Poor thing.
He's over there sitting by that tree and he's bleeding.
She offers him milk of the poppy.
Milk of the poppy.
And he's like, no, just do it quickly.
Oh,
and she kills him.
He's been so good to them.
Yeah.
And then back to our sweet Jon Snow. So this is the actual moment where Jon has to kill Halfhand, right? And so it was all a ploy, but basically he kills him, and then Halfhand, in his dying moment, says, and I quote, "We are the watches on the wall." And Jon looks kind of like disturbed by it. He's like, oh, man, like that was intense. But he had to do it.
He had to kill one of his own, and I think Jon's very torn by that. But I think in that moment, he says, "We are the watchers on the wall," to remind him of the oaths that they took. And this is a necessary measure that needed to be done in order to, like, infiltrate the wildlings. And now they're taking him to Mance Rayder.
Yeah. Ooh.
Remember Mance Rayder?
Intense, yeah. Yes. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Yeah. So, then, back at the Fist of the First Men.
Well, wait, we should first talk about what happens with Dany.
Oh.
Dany back at Karth.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Right, because in the last episode, Jorah has promised to take her to the Temple of the Undying to get back her dragons.
Yes.
And so they go in. And remember when she goes in, it's like snowing. She sees this whole fantasy.
She has this whole vision.
Oh, it was like, I almost cried.
Oh my gosh, I know. Well, when she goes into that tent and then there's Khal Drogo.
With their little baby.
Yeah.
So budgie.
Yeah, exactly. It's so cute. And they have their moment, their tender, sweet moment together.
This is all black magic people.
Yeah, exactly.
Not real. They're trying to trick her, like lull her.
I know. Yes. Like tempt her. Yeah, exactly. But she didn't fall for it. Nope.
So she follows like the sounds and she finds her dragon.
She hears the dragon.
Yeah, they're
screaming.
So cute. They're like little and they're in these little handcuffs.
Oh,
why are they
so shackles?
So cute.
Yeah.
And then they like get her and they put her in shackles. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Pri, the warlock, approaches her and then she like calls Dracarys.
Yes.
And, like just like we saw earlier in the season where she trained him to like breathe fire on his little nugget of meat. She he breathes fire and kills Pri, and they burn their own handcuffs and chains and her chains, and of course they're not harmed by fire until they free themselves.
So they're free. Yeah, exactly.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah. No, I know, to
those
see her
little
free
dragons.
again. Yeah, and then they basically like get to take over the city
Yeah.
and steal the gold. Yeah, and use it to buy ships.
Oh, and then so Doxus, who was in on this, she's just like, oh, so let's go see all these treasures that you promised me.
Mm-hmm.
So they open the vault, and there's nothing in there. So she locks him in there with Doria,
The traitor. Exactly.
Yes, which was a little cruel though. There's like a cruel side to Dany that's like, but you know.
She had to do it though because you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you know, she's asked for help from many people and like nobody's helping her, and so she knows that she's got to take matters into her own hand and like her hands, and that's what she does, and I respected it.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even see it as cruel. I was like, yeah, well,
I mean, it's a slow death. No mercy. But it's
fine.
okay. Just,
yeah.
Okay.
Doing what's right for her and her people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then, in the final scene, we get to see Sam and the fellow men of the Night's Watch that are stranded out there. So they hear the sound.
First one blast.
Right, one. We got one. And then we get two.
Yes.
And we're like, okay, cool, whatever. And then they hear the third one. And what does that mean?
3 blasts means White Walkers!
Get out! Run away!
So they run.
Yeah.
And then Sam's like, oh, he's not that fast.
No, so he like kind of like trips up a little bit. Yeah.
I think there's like, he's kind of hides on a rock or something.
So then he finds, like a tall rock to hide behind, and then he's like, he has no idea what's coming, and then what appears?
This like army of White Walkers.
And then we see the face of the White Walkers.
And
it's
like,
this,
he
like,
kind of like holds the gaze with Sam, and we're like, what's happening?
It's like, don't touch my sweet Sam! Yeah. And then
it ends.
He turns and he goes, and
these White Walkers, though, they're no joke.
Yeah.
They're like flesh is falling off their faces. They are like...
They're like zombies.
Jacked up. Yeah, they're like
Pretty
zombies, but way more disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot going on with like fighting for the throne, but like you guys don't forget about these ones.
This is like the serious part of this whole story. Is like, you may be playing your Game of Thrones, but don't forget there's the enemy beyond the wall that you need to contend with too.
Because they think that they existed thousands of years ago. Like they're not. White Walkers don't exist. Oh no, they're real.
They're back.
And they're coming for you.
Just like the dragons. They didn't exist either.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're back.
Oh my gosh, that's it! That was the season finale of Game of Thrones Season 2. What a great season. You know, it started off a little slow for me, but then really, like, it just kicked into gear and I was, like, totally into it again. Yeah, exactly. Yes, we got to meet new characters and there were new storylines and it was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our review of Game of Thrones Season 2. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.